Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode on the show, Control or Be Controlled, a podcast designed to help you start thinking differently and take control of your life. And I remain your host, Darlington. What if the spaces you live and work in are shaping your mindset, productivity, and even your success more than you realize? Our guest today is the CEO of Elizabeth Erin Designs, host of the Designing in 5D podcast, and a leader in creating beautiful, functional spaces that improve the way people live. Through her signature EED process, she helps clients transform homes and businesses while protecting budgets and bringing clarity to the design journey. She also serves on the Women's Council of Realtors and draws inspiration from cultures around the world to create spaces with purpose and meaning. Today we will explore the psychology of design, creating spaces that support your goals, increasing property value, designing on a budget, and why great design is about far more than decoration. Our guest today is Jodi Koch. Better man. Jodi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Darlington. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, Jodi, and I hope you enjoyed that introduction.
Yes, thank you. You did a very good job. I hope I can live up to it.
Thank you so much. I have some questions here for you, and I would like us to get into them.
Sure.
Right. So, tell us about your journey into interior design. What inspired you to build Elizabeth Erin Designs?
I believe it was my grandmother on my dad's side, my grandma Charlotte. She had her own business when she was taking care of 6 boys on a farm. She started a clothing line, and she was a wonderful seamstress and homesteader and everything else. So I that creativity I think I got from her. And she, when I was little, I always wanted a Barbie dream house, right? The big purple and blue Barbie dream house. But what I got was a beautiful handmade wooden Barbie house when I was younger. And I was so sad. Now I think it was the most beautiful gift in the world because it was blank slate. Like it was just a box, and I could put, paint on the walls and different flooring in the rooms and furniture in the rooms. I got to imagine it the way I wanted to rather than it being already imagined for me. It did a lot more for me than that. So I think that's kind of where it started when I was younger. I remember being at my grandma's house, and there was some sort of gathering of some sort, and I was 7 years old, and somebody asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I said I was going to go to college at Iowa State University, and I was going to go into design. I knew at the age of 7 exactly what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. It was really interesting because I thought everybody had that revelation when they were younger, and that is very, very much not the norm. And so I went to school, and I ended up going the fashion design route. I took a lot of fashion design courses, and I took a few in interior design and some art courses. And then I got married and had babies, and we moved to the East Coast of the United States. And I I joined a mom's club, and in the mom's club, there were women who wanted to do more. They loved being a mom, but we all wanted to do more. And so there was this other woman that I connected with, and we decided to start an interior design company, which led to a different partnership. And then that led to me taking on the company by myself. And then I moved to Iowa, and then I moved to Florida. And so the journey just continues, and there's just been evolution through it all, learning and growing and changing, and all for the better. It's been a long road, 22 years.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. So you often say that design is about how a space makes people feel. Mm-hmm. Why is that more important than simply making a room look beautiful?
Because if you make a room look beautiful, and if people really just want that comfortable space when they come home, you don't want to put fabrics and textures and make it feel like people can't even live in their own home. So that's why I talk a lot about livable luxury. And that's like a moving target, right? Livable luxury can mean different things to different people. But it has to be comfortable and it has to be used how you want to use each space. That's why I slow down the design process and really get intentional about each space and not like applying, you have to apply design principles, of course, and make suggestions, but it's up to the client, like how they want to use the space. So it's got to be able to function with how the person wants to use it. And then it also needs to look beautiful. So it's a very fine balancing act, but function first over beauty.
Okay, so what types of function can a design have on the human brain?
Sure. So like in the United States, there are, different homes that you go in and on a remodel side, maybe there's an awkward wall and it really would open the space up if the wall could come down. So if the clients are open to having a wall come down, it could open the space up and look really amazing. I had a client that when you walked in the front door, there was a dining room and then there was a little sitting room and you could see the living room, but the kitchen was walled off to get more cabinet space. But what we did is we explored what it would look like and how much it would cost to take that wall down versus leaving the wall up and what you would gain versus what you would lose. And we were able to gain more space by taking the wall down and doing a double island, which not everybody can do all the time. It just depends on your budget and where you want to put your dollars at, in your budget. So taking the wall down and opening up the space really did a lot for that home. So that's what I mean. Before you just consider taking down and replacing what you have, is there a better function that could happen if we rethought things for a little bit?
Okay, Jodi, thank you so much. So what is the EED process and how does it help clients avoid the costly mistakes that many renovation projects experience?
Sure. So here what happens is a contractor will meet with the client usually first. The designer's usually an afterthought. Sometimes we're brought in the middle of, or in the beginning of a project, which is really nice. But more times than not, they're going to get a contractor. They're going to show them a plan, or they're going to tell them what they want to remodel in their home. The contractor will give them a dollar amount, and then that's what's kind of set in gold, and we have to work from there. But the problem with that is a client's looking at Instagram and Pinterest and watching, HGTV, and they're getting all sorts of ideas together, right? And so a lot of times those ideas of what they think that they're going to be able to get for what the budget that the contractor allowed doesn't match. And then the contractor's having them make one decision first, then the next, and kind of taking that approach. And what that does is people will look at, let's say they're going to do a kitchen renovation. They're going to look at appliances first. So they look at appliances and they're already over budget because maybe they have, $5,000 to spend on appliances. Well, the stove that they really want maybe is a couple thousand more. And so they're like, okay, we're only a few thousand over budget. No big deal. And then they're going to go pick out cabinets. And then once you get the cabinets, it's like, okay, we're a little more over budget and a little more over budget and then a little more. All these decisions, cost money. So the way we do it, the 5D process is function first. We get the floor plan done. And then once we get the floor plan created, then we do all the design and selecting, and we go through rounds of edits. It can take anywhere from 3 to 7, 8 months to get all of the designs done the way we wanted to and documented with visuals so that we take it to the contractor and say, this is exactly what we want. So that way the clients can take that package that we put together to several different contractors and then compare apples to apples and protect their budget. So if the contractors are coming back, let's say the budget's $75,000 to $100,000 to do whatever they want done, the contractor goes, okay, it's going to be around 150 with all of these things. Then the contractor and the designer should have a conversation and say, what can we do to give them the similar or same look, but bring it back down to budget? Is it a tile I selected? Is it the cabinet line? Can we do something different? And so then we bring it to the client and say, okay, as we designed it, it costs $150,000. But here's some of my ideas and the contractor's ideas on how to get you closer to that $100,000 budget. And that's what this would look like. And so that we kind of work back and forth and decide what stays, what goes, what can be done at a later time, and what do we need to do now. And so at least this way the clients know what they're spending and what they're spending it on, rather than making the decision one at a time and going over, because you're going to pay for a designer whether you like it or not. If you don't hire a designer, you're going to pay for it by making those decisions, going over budget, and then you're going to say, wait, no, I don't know. And because there's a lot of decisions to be made. And then you're going to say, let's stop the project. Let me figure this out. Or I bought that, but I don't like it. I'm going to return it. And now there's restocking fees. People are it's time lost. And so there's, you're just, time is money. So, you're going to pay for it if you do it on your own versus just hiring somebody from the beginning and having them give you a better journey along the whole way, because people don't realize it's almost a full-time job to do a remodel and or a new construction project, and you're still trying to live your life. You have kids to shuffle around, you have parents to assist, you've got your own life that you're doing, you've got maybe you're working. So it's a lot going on at once. So having somebody else that can kind of have their brain wrapped around the whole project to help guide and make decisions is I think is peace of mind is very important. And like I said, you'll pay for those overages and expenditures in another way if you don't do it up front. I'd rather do it up front and know, but that's just me. I like to know what I'm getting into.
All right, Jodi, most people will argue that this might cost them a lot of money. So how can someone create a luxury feel in their home without spending a luxury budget?
Sure. So I think other designers do this too, but me personally, I just created a product called North Star. It's just launched in August. It's on my website, and North Star is for people who want to design assistants, but maybe they don't want to buy into they don't have enough funds to do the full design services. So they can go online anywhere in the world and they can book a North Star. They can pay for it online, and it'll be virtual. There's specific instructions on what to do, and they upload some pictures and videos for me, and then they schedule a 30-minute call and we go over their project and what they're trying to accomplish. And then I have developed my own AI system app, and I put the images in and I work with my app to get a designer perspective on how it could be. That's why the images and the videos are so important of the space, so I can see what's going on. And I can guide AI with a designer brain to tell it what to do. And then I create visuals for people and then an approximate cost per their location of what it's going to be like. And then if they need some personal recommendations, I can, vet some people to help them along with their project if needed, if they need somebody to do it. But a lot of people who use North Star are doing it themselves, or maybe they just moved into a new space and they want to know what they can do with it. And they're going to either tackle it themselves or they're going to, maybe hire people just as needed. So it kind of North Star just gives them a true place to aim for. So that when they're out shopping for things, they can use those images to find similar things, or they can hire me to do more work with them after that as well. So that's our little starter plan. And then I'm also working on something that's downloadable that will help guide people if they really don't even want the North Star. If they want something more simple, it'll be like a self-guided tour on how to do it.
Okay, wonderful. So, as a member of the Women's Council of Realtors, what design improvements provide the biggest return on investment for homeowners?
I would say first. If the house doesn't function and it doesn't flow, whether that's moving furniture around or removing a wall, you have to see what's on the market right now and be competitive. Otherwise, just list the house where it needs to be listed, listen to your professional realtor and market where it needs to be listed and get it gone. But, other than that, primary bathrooms are really big and kitchens are really big. And then just making sure the rest of the house function and flows properly.
Okay. So, yeah, go on.
Oh, I said that's going to get your biggest ROI.
Okay, so you have traveled extensively for inspiration. Share with me and my audience one lesson you have learned from another culture that's changed the way you approach design today.
I would say I think when I went to Italy, it's a very slowed down culture, and I thought it was amazing. I think in America, we go, 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 hustle, hustle until we burn ourselves out raw. And in Italy, everything's slowed down and everything is done quality to be experienced. So I kind of feel like that's where the 5D process goes to. We slow it down to create that quality of experience. I'm going to have to remember that. That's a good idea. I'm getting a good idea off this podcast. But when I was there, even when you walked in, like some of the Airbnbs we stayed at, you walk in the front door and they had like steps that were painted different colors. So you're getting cheerier and happier. Like it started off soft and then it got brighter as you went up. In the shower, they had this product called chromotherapy. It was not new to them, but it hadn't been introduced to me in the United States as of yet. And basically, you're combining a sound system and lighting system together in the shower to help calm your nervous system, almost like a little at-home spa. It's like, this was before like red light therapy and blue light therapy, but you can have that system changing colors with the music and creating that whole health wellness experience in your own home. So it really got me to slow down and then think about it. So when we did a house here in, at one of my projects I did in Iowa, we added that chromotherapy to the shower, and it was something that nobody else was doing here at the time in Iowa. And then also I had a client who really loved the idea of doing graded colors up the stairs, but she didn't do color. We just did like grayscale. She didn't want to go color on the steps, but we did like a grayscale. So the riser part was started out like really dark black and then went up and up and up until you got light. It turned out really cool. And just slowing down. And I guess for the overall business, just slowing down and being intentional about what you're picking. Because right now I will ask my clients that come on, I'm like, can I have a picture of you and your family? Or can I have a picture if it's a big project of like I was at a spa the other day. And so they said that I'm working on, and they said, here's like an image of our clientele that we have coming in. And I want to envision and embody them as I'm picking things out and thinking about what is going to bring them the most joy and how are they going to use the space? Because as designers, we're creating things not just for the moment, but we're creating things for years and years and years and years to come. So what we're selecting and the energy we're putting into the design is so very important. I feel it's important anyways.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jodi. I'm beginning to feel design is important. Just by speaking to you. So, what are the biggest interior design mistakes that homeowners make before hiring a professional?
I think if you're a busy professional and your life is already full, not hiring a designer from the very beginning, or at least thinking about the direction, like getting your North Star so that you're prepared when you go out shopping, is a huge mistake. I think that if you're just going to go pick one thing at a time, it doesn't come together as a full cohesive look. And then a lot of people are, instead of hiring a designer, they'll go with a builder that has a designer on staff. But a lot of times those designers are picking from very selected items. It's like a semi-custom builder where you have to choose from these 5 tiles. You have to choose from this, this, this. And then that's how everything gets very cookie cutter looking, like we lose that charm. You look at buildings from like, way back when, and they're very articulate. They're very, they have a lot of movement. There's a lot of detail, but there's also a lot of smoothness and texture to these buildings. And we've kind of lost that in this put it up quick, sell it. Put it up quick, sell it. It becomes like just copy, paste. And I want to get out of that and try and be very intentional about designing. for my clients. And I think if we can slow the process down and really get into the design and think about things, there'll be less change orders. They'll end up with a better product that suits the client.
Okay, so how are you able to balance creativity with functionality when clients have very different vision for their space?
Sure. So, like one of my clients had a room they really weren't using very well. It was more like a storage space, and it was off the kitchen. And so we decided to, and also they had like a slab, a cement slab where they would pull their car in, but they never used it to pull the car in. They just used it a little bit for storage. And they wanted to take their house and go up higher and add a second story. But they were, not spring chickens, as I like to say. They're my age or, a little bit older, and you don't want to be doing stairs at that age. Also heat rises and it's hot here in Florida. So I said, how about instead of going up, we go out onto the carport, that cement slab, let's enclose that and make that your primary bedroom, which meant we had to move the front door, which meant we had to think about how are you going to flow into the space and what you were going to see. And it literally just came together so beautifully. They were able to add an extra bedroom and bathroom on to their space. And then that area off the kitchen, we reclaimed it. And they are collectors of things from China and like artifacts from China and Native American artifacts. And so, and the wife really wanted it to look like a beach home. So I was like, okay, this is going to be challenging. We've got, Chinese, and we've got Native American, and now we've got beach. How are we going to work that together? So I took a lot of their pieces of furniture and repurposed them in a strategic way that pulled color throughout the space. And then in that little storage area off the kitchen, it could be used as an eating kitchen, but they didn't really need it to function that way. So what I did is we did a coffee table and 4 chairs, and then I did a big cabinet that could be used for storing all the artifacts, and with these big glass cabinets with every shelf being lit up, so they could pull the artifacts out, put it on the coffee table, and have people over and talk about those items and what was the importance of them and where they found them. And it created a space for them to have conversation around. And then if they ever decide they want to sell the home, it could be used, those cabinets could be used in like a dining setting to show off china or dishes, and then you can put a table in there. So it works for them now, and it can work for them in the future or whoever else owns the home. It kind of solved both problems. So it's function and it's also beautiful.
All right. So, if someone listening right now could make just one change to their home this weekend that would have the biggest impact, what would you recommend?
Well, before they start doing changes, what I recommend them doing is going through the home. And just sounds kind of like woo-woo, but take a deep breath as you enter your home and put your hand on your heart, and just then open your eyes, close your eyes, and then open your eyes and see how you feel in that space. Does it make you feel calm? Does it make you feel less stressed? Are you glad to be in that space? And if not, rank it. Like what is throwing you off in the space? Where is it? Lack of storage? What is it? And kind of going through each room that way. And then you can kind of sit down and look at the rankings and then see which one's driving you the most crazy, and seeing how you could tackle that. So like if it's your entryway, you feel like, it's just chaotic. There's kids' clothes everywhere. There's shoes everywhere, maybe finding a solution to storage. A lot of times people get stuck like, I need this space for X, Y, and Z. Like I use this, but maybe we could turn it into something different. Maybe there's a closet that has some things in it that could be moved to another space. And maybe we put like a small piece of furniture in there, or an organizer in somewhere. They're just rethinking the space, but you really have to find out what's not working first and what you don't like about it. And like, the reason you put your hand on your heart is because you can feel your heart racing when it's just like, you really just don't like that space. So I think first is finding out what space you don't like, and then and why, and then find out, what you can do or what the real problem is, and prioritize what's driving you the craziest first, and then just kind of really sit with it, look at inspiration about it. So I think the planning part is first. Don't just go off and paint a wall because you want to change. Like I think you need to be really intentional about what you're doing, because time is money. You don't want to waste time on doing anything. And also money's money, and you don't want to waste money buying something that's really not going to solve your problem and really not going to, you got to go to work. What is really bothering you right now the most?
All right. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you for sharing your experience and reminding us that great design isn't simply about decorating a room. It's about creating spaces that support the life that we want to live. So I'm just wondering, for someone who is far away from where you are, do you offer like visual designing?
Pardon? Oh yes, I do virtual design as well. That's the North Star. So I have clients all over the United States, and then I am just getting a client in Costa Rica, and I hope not to be my last. So, yep.
All right. So how can people learn more about you and your designing and if I with the podcast and connect with you?
Yeah, so my podcast is on my website and it's Elizabeth Erin, spelled ERIN Designs, DESIGNS.com. That's the best way to learn about me, the company. It has my podcast. It has North Star on it. It has a lot of blog articles on there. They can sign up for, newsletters on there. And then all the social media handles, they can find that on the website as well. I think there's a link to every social media handle we have is on there. So the website's the best.
All right. Thank you so much. And to all my listeners, remember that the environment you create can either support your growth or quietly hold you back. Design your space with intention and design your life the same way. So thanks to you all for listening to Control or Be Controlled. And if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from today's conversation. Until next time, I will see you guys again. Make sure to check out our guest for today's work and check out our podcast as well. Stay intentional, stay disciplined, and take control before life controls you. Bye guys. Thank you, Jodi.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.